In April 2019, Urban Sketches Hong Kong is going to be having an exhibition in a location very close by here, H6 Connaught. We are right now in downtown central Hong Kong. This is Wellington Street. So for the past few weekends or so, a few of us have been doing sketch walks in the area, and I've been drawing a few things. So I thought I'd show you a little bit of what we've been doing here. This is a really cool spot in the city because it still retains an old school vibe. I mean, there are all these street stalls and things like that. So it's really colorful, it's full of life. There's still some old school kind of stores still available. It's really one of my favorite parts of town, and it's changing so fast. So where possible, we try and sketch and get things done. The buffalo sculpture really caught my eye, and I decided, okay, that's going to be my warm-up sketch. I like to add some storytelling element in my work. And as the morning briefing began, I thought, oh, perfect, I'll add those guys in, those people in. And then I thought, oh, well, I'll add also some structural elements that reference the geographical location, which was the starting point of the sketch walk that day. After walking around a bit, I decided to draw a little fruit stall where Graham Street meets Wellington. Now, I've drawn this area a few times before, and it really is so full of character. Unfortunately, it's also fast disappearing. The buildings flanking this lane, for instance, have been torn down since I was last here, and in time, I believe this entire street market will be relocated indoors into a building nearby, which will be a real shame, which is why urban sketchers in Hong Kong embrace any opportunity to draw here. And speaking of drawing, there is so much to sketch here that it's easy to be overwhelmed by the details. Another way to look at it is there's something for everyone, whether you like drawing architecture, people, complicated perspective, or just stuff stacked in corners. I found a stoop to sit on across the street and decided to make the fruit stall my focal point, leaving the people and surroundings a little rougher and more abstracted. Now, I knew I wanted to make the colorful fruit pop and have tried to balance the composition with dabs of color in other areas of the sketch. As you can see, I also darkened the shadows of the fruit stall to make it clearer and stronger, and finished with some writing to help me remember the day. From where I was sitting, I realized that the perspective of Wellington Street as it sloped up to the mid-level escalators was really interesting. I love all that signage stretching across, the life happening on the street below. I've used only one brush here, something I made a couple years ago in Procreate, and I started with the dark lines to block the foreground out. And on the layer below, after that, I used the orange to suggest depth, and I found that this limited color palette also helped me to stay focused and work more quickly. After that, a few pops of red here and there, and done. I think it came out quite nicely. I'm really happy with this. A couple weekends later, a few of us decided, okay, we're gonna go to Wellington Street again, and I did a piece featuring Ho-Kei Electrical Company. This time, I just wanted to take my time, sketching leisurely and enjoying the details. It can be incredibly meditative to do that. Now, the streets and sidewalks here are quite narrow, so I found a fire hydrant across from Ho-Kei Electrical, which was the perfect perch for me to sketch from without being in the way of pedestrians passing by. I began by building up dark shadow shapes, and then I proceeded to go in and add some detail, beginning with, like the signage, objects in the scene. At some point in the past, Hokei Electrical must have really sold electrical products like power strips and cables, switches and lighting, and I can see elements of that in the store. This place looks like it's been around since the 60s, but it has obviously evolved to also cover and sell other kinds of common household goods, which makes all that stuff stacked and hung across the storefront really fun to draw. Procreate is ideal for simulating thick media like oil or acrylic, and I've been experimenting with this painterly approach a bit, working from dark to light instead of always beginning with black lines, and I'm really liking this. So after adding bits of detail here and there, and if you look really closely, it's kind of abstracted. I've got shadows and I've got some kind of highlight which suggests an item. And the final bit, which I really enjoy doing, was adding the string lights. So fun to do. When the subject is as dense with detail as this is, I think it's best to just keep the background clean so the focus is very clear. And I so enjoy doing this that I feel a series coming on. So while it's winter in Hong Kong, I plan to get out and draw a whole lot more, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you do. I will see you guys next time.